Welcome to Brothers and Booze Live. We return after 2 weeks. Last week I was running around Madison with my beer blogger friends. We talk about that later. And last week Doug was running around at a wedding. So we are back. I'm excited to have RC Jones here um, on a fantastic week of beer news. Since I'm talking, I'm going to start. It's been a crazy week, man. We didn't even have pre production. We had another guest scheduled, a little bit behind the scenes. I wasn't able to talk to him this week. So I talked to him. I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh, man, the wife filled out my schedule. And I'm like, oh, I understand that. Like, because if you leave it
Don't worry about
open, they'll just come in and just fill that shit out. So we call I hit up RJ. I'm sorry, RC in the morning. And it's just a great week to have him. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna jump in here with this Weiner Beer Company, Belgian style wheat ale. Um, I have no idea where Weiner Brewery is from. We'll pull it up, and it purports itself to be a Belgian style wheat ale. So I'm hoping to get some Belgian character, but I'm hoping it's light, and I'm hoping it's looking like this looks like. Nice Great Lakes glass here.
hmm
You can smell some Belgian character, but not much. But oh, now it's coming through a little bit, a little swirl here. Oh, now it's prominent. So
Sneaked up on you.
yeah, sometimes you got to give those aromatics. Ooh, sometimes you got to give those aromatics some time. So this is what you want out of a Belgian style wheat ale. Obviously see that it's still wheat. It has a nice Belgian character, but not too much. But what I was oohing about is the fruit character that comes out at the end. Um, Tasting a little bit really juicy actually. For this wheat ale, it's a little bit. Let me see. The juice, the juiciness at the end balances well with the upfront Belgian. But again, it is let's see, what's the word we use? It's not assertive Belgian wheat, but it's that one below. What's that one below? I always forget. Anyway, it's not
Yeah.
assertive.
I know what you mean.
It's
I just
nice.
can't remember the word either.
Right. Now, and RC knows, and he should be helping. He should be trying to help me out here. He's better at this shit than me. He's not even throwing a lifeline here, so I'm just gonna keep going. But
Think myself. I'm like,
You
but
told her
no, it's a balanced brew, you know. So sometimes sometimes that ending is a little bit more assertive than the beginning. This one here is just cleared through, really nice. Definitely a lawnmower beer. Uh,
oh sh-
Mr. Scotch for yours. I'm not sure about a shower beer. We already go through this, but it might be though. It's light, man. It's quick. It's refreshing. It's a
Mhm.
good one. Cheers.
Cheers to you, man.
hold one
So
second.
I think we should have RC give us his first one if he's ready.
Mike.
I can hear you perfectly fine, my man. No. Well, he's having his technical difficulties, and I'll go.
Sure. Yeah, you go.
All right. So I have my theme tonight, as you know, I'm fond of themes, is doing literary beers. So basically, beers that have a title that's something to do with books or writing. So the first one is pretty obvious. uh, "Oh Captain, My Captain" from Bells. This is part of their Leaves of Grass series, which
Hmm.
I've never heard of, but this one is a Black India style pale lager. Clocks in at 5.5 ABV. Says this, on the back, it even says shelf life 3 months. So I like that they did that. And it was packaged on 9/9 of this year. So let's pop this bad boy open and see what we get.
What does it purport itself to be?
Pardon?
What does it purport itself to be?
A Black India style pale lager.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
a lot of words.
That sounds delicious.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. My mic died, so I don't know if you could hear me there or not.
We can hear you fine,
We
man.
got you now.
Yeah, I switched over to a different mic. I don't know what happened.
So This is it's not opaque, so it's like definitely lager, but it's definitely dark. So it's
Quarter-ish
yeah,
looking.
yeah. It's
It looks a little red here.
it isn't not red. I mean, maybe it's the lighting I have here, but it's
Yeah.
it's definitely more black.
Sure.
So, the nose is really super interesting. It's a little hoppy, but it definitely has a little more lager smell with it, which is not a combo that I get much. But oh, that is delicious. So, you know how you can have black IPAs,
Yes.
and they have. I really actually do like black IPAs if they're not overly hoppy. I'm in there with that. This is like the hops are nice. They're not punching in the face at all, but really on the nose, on the palate, and it smooths out into a nice, like a black lager finish. It's really, really, really good.
Yummy.
I mean, that is, I wasn't sure what to expect because a black India style lager was not something that I'd had before. So it was really, really interesting.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. There we
Yep.
go.
Yep. This is, yeah, Walt Whitman.
So it's a hoppy black lager.
Yes, that would be a very good description. But like I said, it's not like really hoppy. It's just the hops are a nice note in it, and it's really good on the nose and on the palate.
So you bought it as a 6-pack?
Mm-mm. I bought it as a single because I was looking for stuff, and I just saw the name, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I picked up the other one that I had that I'll have later. That I didn't even make the connection that they were both literary beers until later. Because I just got it because I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me give that a try. So that's how my themes come about. I'm, not a planner. I'm just kind of a fly by the seat of my pants theme guy.
This one looks right up my alley.
Yeah, I'm telling you that one. And Bell's is, that's right around you. It's in Michigan, obviously, but that's something I think if you could get it, I think you'd really like it.
And they only released it in September.
Yep.
So
I'm not sure what this whole leaves. I think it's called Leaves of Grass series. So I don't know if that's what other. See, it says previous the prairie grass dividing because this one has number 3 on the label.
Right.
So I'm wondering what the other ones were. There's apparently 3 within the series now. What it looks like. But
it says next Java Stout.
But in the back to the left, it says previous. If you go back to where we were.
Right, and then the next one it said is this one.
Yeah, I don't know if that's in, but that's what I'm wondering if we go back and we could see the previous.
Jupiter.
Yeah, go previous and then go to scroll down and go to previous again and see what maybe that's part of the Leaves of Grass series. So not sure what that is. These are all, well, there's only 2. That's interesting. I thought that would have been. Oh, okay. Sorry for the little sidetrack there. All right. Hey, Rod, have you had any of the black IPAs? What's your opinion on those sort of things?
Or black IPL, that one was.
Black IPL, yeah, sorry.
Rod can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, your mic is cutting out.
Okay, let me dump this.
We'll figure it out.
Yes, we will.
Yep.
Yes, we will. And until Rod gets his stuff ready, the big old pink elephant in the room is, wow.
Yeah, we need to have it brought.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
There we
I
go.
don't know what the hell is going on with this technical difficulty. Everything's like it's kind of touchy, like a brewery out of Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Oh,
yeah.
You mean shady?
Shady, yeah. Weak. Broken down. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Going into this week, the computer was fine, just like that brewery, but no. It actually wasn't. It was actually over a year.
So, given that this is a really good drinking week, RC, what do you got?
Well, since I've been a little soured this week,
Oh, I like that. I got
Man,
one.
Full of
too,
fun.
right.
I'm breaking out the
There we go.
Mispillion River Brew and War Badger because we're suiting up with what's going on right now. So
War Badger.
at the War Badger that I picked up on one of the beer runs. I got this when I was up in Columbus, Ohio, and it was really the artwork. It just caught my eye. I was like, that's a cool looking artwork label. So go ahead and throw that baby in. Cost of that was $3.99. So not too bad for pint can. I mean, a lot of the guys know me for being we get these deals on beers, and this wasn't one that was a deal. But I don't always get deals. I tell them I got to pay regular price sometimes too. So some of these guys think they throw beer at me. But this is out of Delaware, this brewery. Never heard of them. War Badger, trash is treasure, wrong is right, war is peace. War Badger may be red and sour, but it's balanced with an infusion of fruit punch electrolytes. With this winning combination was an easy victory for the general, and we think you'll agree that victory has never tasted so good. So went ahead, decided to pick that baby up. We get this into a glass. And I hate when they put the damn price tag on the tab. Like, why would you put it on the tab where it's like falling into the beer?
No. Right.
So hard to find.
No.
Yeah. And one of my big things is about, I didn't look on here, I have to look afterwards, if they put dates on cans. That's
Oh.
always a big thing. So I'll save that rant for later. It's like, you put all this other BS on here, you can at least put a date on there.
Yeah.
That's a pretty ass beer, though, man.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
and it does have a date, so good for that. Yeah, so just like all your typical sours, and make sure I get the glass the right way, where you got the Rajay Beer Ventures logo on there.
Very nice.
The head dissipates rather quickly, so Burgunders don't last around too long in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Get a nice sour tartness coming out. And with a lot of these beers, I always think of like, for me, it's like now and laters. I get different flavors of now and laters from being a kid. I get a throwback of those when I drink these beers.
Now and later.
Mhm.
Okay. I like that.
Mhm.
Oh shit! This is like if Hawaiian Punch was a beer. This would be the shit it would taste like. Like I could sit here and just like chug this pint. That would be no problem. I mean, you got the they said electrolytes, so I mean,
So it's not because Doug and I always talk about some of these sours are just too big to be drinking a big one.
Yeah.
That sounds like a drinkable sour.
Yeah, you get a nice feel of the fruitiness of it. It's like a fruit punch. I did a review earlier tonight on one of the Belgian sours, and it was overly done, I thought. I mean, it was kind of like the Belgian feel, but it was like more tart. You had to be kind of a person into it to really dig it. This one, if you're just getting into sours, this one you'd be like, okay, I might want to mess around with this for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got a nice, refreshing quality to it.
Are you getting any tartness out of it all, or is it just...
On the initial, you get some tartness, but it fades rather quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get much of that burn in the chest. You've got a low acidity level with this one. Very low, like on the astringency. I mean, it's literally like you're drinking freaking Hawaiian Punch or like an almost flat Tahitian treat or something, where you've got that fruity flavor just working around nicely.
Not your father's Kool-Aid.
Yeah. War Badger's not messing around. All right. No, and at the end, you're left with like a little bit of fruitiness there. It's not overpowering, like you said. You have a little bit of that fruitiness in the cheeks and the mouth. You can just sit there and relax and just drink and chill with this. And it's light. It's light. It's a light body one. Like if I had this with like some type of like salad or something like that, it would go perfectly with it.
That would be something that I probably would be cool with drinking, because I'm not a huge fan of sours. I like them when they're a little more tart.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I'm going to drink something, like I don't like them when they're like really sour. That just no thanks. But
yeah,
that sounds like a good like kind of entry level sour is what you're making it sound like.
Yeah, I'm digging that one. I would have thought with the War Badger, I was thinking like, I don't know why I thought like Wisconsin or whatever, but it's out of Delaware.
Well, they're the Badgers. I would
yeah,
think so.
yeah. Well, Wisconsin Badgers, yeah, yeah. But
yeah, we're Badgers up here. So, continuing that sour theme, since it was a sour week, I have one from Central Waters here called Hope is Brewing. Um, I believe that there's a charity behind this. It says Kettle Sour Ale with raspberries and mangoes.
Oh,
So
Mm.
we're gonna jump on this one real fast here. Nice little can. I was up at the brewery 2 weeks ago. They had a release, a wonderful beer called Black Gold, um,
oh,
I
which
saw a
is
lot
a
of that being posted.
yeah, it was beautiful. It's a beautiful beer that's when you pick it up, it has been aged for 3 years in a bourbon barrel. So it is really good. If I see you guys at Fresh Fest next year at the bottle share, you'll be able to try that because I'm bringing me a
Oh,
bottle. I
well, you know
mean,
I'm going.
listen, man,
I'm hurt. I'm still
Fresh
hurt. I'm
Fest.
still hurt.
Oh,
It's still too soon. The
we're
wounds are
gonna make it
fresh.
up, man. We're gonna make it up. We're gonna make it up. But like, how could I not take a beer that's so good called Black Gold and
Yeah.
not Fresh Fest? So it just all makes sense.
Now,
So
when you went to Fresh Fest, did you get a chance to go to the bottle share the ABC put on at their place?
yes, there were two bottle shares, and
Yeah.
luckily I got the invitation for the second one,
Yeah.
and it was
She told me that was off the hook on theirs they had
it
there.
was it was off the hook, man. It was nothing like I've ever been to, and it was just the love and just the community. The beer's beer, man. Don't get me wrong, and I love beer, and it was good, but like it's more about who is at that party.
Yeah.
And so next year I'm bringing that Black Gold to that party, and you guys will try it there. But this is what I got at the brewery. I was up there. Um, I don't know. Central Waters is one of the best brewers in Wisconsin, in my opinion, and I'm not the only one who says that. A lot of people say that, so it's not just me. But so when I'm up there, I'm grabbing that bottle share. I only go up once or twice. I go twice a year. They have the Black Gold release, and then they also have their anniversary release, which is a blend, but it's not like 3 years in a bourbon barrel like Black Gold is. So I mean, Black Gold is just a beautiful. I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about the beer besides, oh, I don't like bourbon barrels. Well,
And
great.
that's not for you. That's
Right,
more for me.
right. So this is pretty beer. I don't know if it's as pretty as the one that Ron had, but it's pretty damn pretty, and it's holding its head a little bit longer. So
Yeah.
it looks like. So let's
Look,
jump in here.
you close?
Ooh, tardy smell from the nose for sure. Tardy on out. A lot of raspberries. Not too many mangoes. Um, not even. This is a baby sour. Um, I don't know. I'm not. It's decent. It's not anything that not mind blowing. I bet you Rod's is probably better.
Yours doesn't taste
Um,
like Tahitian treat, does it?
yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, more like raspberries. More like a framboise. Is that what they call them? Those
Yeah,
raspberry
from
beers.
Wow.
Framboise.
From
I'm bad at
Fun to
French.
say, at least.
Yeah, it is. Maybe the mango's a little bit I don't know, tamping down the raspberries. I'm not sure. I don't really taste mangoes in this. Um, this is a nice sour. This isn't one that's gonna fill your belly. We talk about these sours that fill your belly and like pretty much
Like make
knock
your
you out.
stomach like a churning
This isn't
sea.
one of them. This is a nice one. Light, refreshing, but nothing to write home about. I would have it again, but I wouldn't tell you to get one. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? It's one of those like whatever.
Yeah, it works.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not bad. It's not bad to be like, don't get it, but it's not like you got to go get this one. So
It's more like there, it's drinkable.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, that Weiner you were having is actually out of Chicago. Because I've had one of theirs, the elevator.
oh,
That Greg had early. Yeah.
Yeah.
that makes sense because a couple of my beer blogger friends from Chicago came up. So, Doug, you want to go to your next one, or do we want to start talking about this idiotic brewer in Michigan?
Let's get that idiotic crap out of the way. Actually, let me do my beer first so I can drink while we're rehashing that nonsense. And
So,
maybe our Rob wants RC wants to do that as
You can just
well.
call you RC, Rod J, whatever you want to call is fine.
yeah, like around my house, we call the president you know who because we don't say his name.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm almost like
Do not
this with
speak his name.
right. I'm almost like this with founders. I want to call them like that brewery. I don't even want to say their name. I just want to be like that brewery that we all know is racist. right, or that racist brewery or whatever. But they've earned it at this point, in my opinion. Like before this latest thing, where they were racist before this latest thing. I mean, they were. There's just no clear. It was clear. But now when they triple and double down on it, I mean, again, that's when you're just like, okay. And then I don't know, right before we got on, the diversity and inclusion director, or somebody got a hold of her letter, and that's just a bomb drop too, because she's just like, look, you people didn't listen to me. I was trying to help you. I was doing my job. You guys threw me under the bus, threw yourself under the bus. I'm out. And I don't know, they're gonna she's gonna be as scared. She ain't getting back. She's like, my last day is in 2 months, 2 weeks. Your last day was today, lady.
Yeah.
You're done.
Is she gonna get that key card in there and it's gonna be like, right, no, like just put away that letter, you know what I mean? Like I applaud her. I'm not no disparaging thing at her. I mean, you gotta make your money. I believe again, I don't know her, but I believe she went in with the intention of trying to help them. And it just all Rod, I'll let you come up from there. And
she had a heartfelt tweet on Twitter tonight before the letter came out, which I was still wanting to verify, but everybody seems to be running with it just to make sure. Right. But she had a heartfelt tweet of how she went in there and what she had risked going in there and thought she could do stuff. And so, and I actually responded to her, and I said, it's the first time I actually saw you because they said they hired you, but you would think if you hired a person in that position, they would have been out in the forefront a long time ago. And it's like I said, sorry we had to meet under this situation and wish you the best, moving forward. But, I wanted to say you got used and abused in there. I mean, you took it on there and they just kind of thought you were the mammy and threw you around. So it was like not the best spot for her to be in. But, but if she's going to leave, that's a good way to do it. Leak the letter out, let them know, and like, hey, I ain't with these people, I ain't with them. Titanic's going down. I'm in the first boat off the boat. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get out of here. Like they're not my people back there. So, so separate yourself early if you can. But how stupid is that PR firm have to be that they released a statement today again and trying to say what a PR firm said they should not say anything. Anybody that knows anything about social media knows you do not sit on bad communications coming through your social media channels. That makes things worse. So I don't know who they hire for the PR firm, but they should have been kicked in the ass out the door earlier as well. So I don't know. I think they're just running a frat boy mentality of a brewery and it's coming back to bite them in the ass.
Yeah, I have to say that, like, all right, you want to be inclusion is like, I mean, we've always talked about beers universal and all that jazz. And the thing is like, my view of it is way different than yours because I'm a white guy and I never have to worry about inclusivity because usually it's inherent for me because I'm a freaking white dude and I just walked in and I have a big goofy beard and I'm like, okay, great. You're here. But the thing is, if you're a brewer that is that big, I mean, they're pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
How are you that tone deaf? Like, I'm really fucking baffled by that. I am befuddled.
Yeah. Well, in all honesty, it's not like, and not just saying in the beer world, but it's not like there aren't other companies outside the beer world who, because we won't say their name, like Greg said, right? That's in office that they feel empowered to do some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry if I didn't mean to curse. If you don't use a curse in your channel,
we curse.
So. Okay.
Curse a whole lot. So.
Okay.
A good example is this umpire from. I don't even watch baseball, but it was on my screen.
Oh, the MLB umpire.
Right.
Yeah.
Now again, don't tell me he doesn't feel empowered by who. So like, I mean, again, that wouldn't have happened even 10 years ago, even under another Republican president. So I don't know how you deny that a lot of this isn't like just bolstered up by who, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't it be classic of he who should not be named to go and weigh in on Founders and back them?
And you know what?
Hey man, Founders is a great beer. I don't drink, but go Founder.
Wow. In this crazy world, it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing's out of the realm for that guy. Anything you could tell me, he took a shit on the German prime minister's desk. And he'd be like, yeah, he probably did.
I swear, if we were in what's that show on the Netflix with the kids?
Big Mouth.
No, the Stephen King show they did.
Strange
Things.
You're
It's
saying.
like if we were on Strange Things, I swear I would be in the upside down world right now. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, the shit of it all is that Founders, for me, made some really good beers.
Mhm.
But I can't buy any of their stuff anymore. I just won't.
Okay, so let's have a moratorium for Founders. That's great. So I don't think I'm pretty sure by RC's post, his social media post, I'm pretty sure RC's with us that he's not drinking that shit anymore.
Right.
So neither am I, neither are you, Doug. So then, what are you going to quote miss most from Founders? I'll start, and I'll say the Session IPA was a game changer. Not a game changer, but it was when I first had it. I was like, man, this beer is amazing, and it is a really good beer. I will miss that a little bit, and I'll miss KBS a little. What I won't miss, and I'll be done after this, is that shitty ass Lizard of Cause. The shitty ass mass-produced shit that you call, it's basically like blueberry concentrate, like thrown into a damn bomber. Now I'm gonna go off on Founders. Yes, now I'm going to go off. That beer is freaking horrifying, and they're like, oh, $22, 24. How much do we pay for that? Fuck Founders and fuck Lizard of Cause.
Get the fuck out of here.
That is a horrible beer. I've never heard
uh,
anybody argue with me on that. It's a
Who was it? Who was it in the group that was saying they had like a couple bottles of that? And I was like, don't drink
RC,
that.
you ever have that nonsense?
I've never had that one. No.
Ah,
You don't want to ruin your taste.
Is it like the one they make the Green Zebra 2 or something?
That was a pale ale of some sort.
Well, that was like Founders who was doing some weird shit with that too. It was like, what the hell? No, I didn't
yeah,
have
it's
either.
just like this big blueberry stout. It's awful. It really is bad.
It was like a burnt blueberry stout.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen to them at the next beer festival they try to do because they backed out of this other one, or they were asked to be backed out. You know.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, Doug, which one are you gonna miss? You gonna miss any of their beers?
Like KBS was, kind of big when it was harder to find.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was better then. So
It's a shelf turd now.
I'm not really gonna miss that one. Not really. Actually,
KBS is a shelf turd. They completely turned it into like a different thing with like mass producing it. In my opinion.
Yeah, well, they got bought out, so they're like, "Hey, you need to put more beers out there."
And I will say, as far as if you're going to go in those kind of realms, I actually, although it's being mass produced now, I would prefer the Bourbon County Stout from Goose Island to that.
Okay.
That's a preference. The beer from them that I would really miss is Backwoods Bastard. I really like that beer. That's a really good one. But
Doug? Did you see that? Did you see they made Backwards Racist?
Did you see the CBS
oh,
racist?
but that's perfect.
Did you see KKKBS?
You ever seen this? Have you seen the CBS with the Klansman on the horse?
I did see that one. Oh my god.
That's why you gotta love the internet, though. You have to. Like, they're gonna make you laugh about shit that you shouldn't be laughing about. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be laughing at their races, but like these memes, like at least bring a little bit of like laughter to it. Like
internet, like Father Time, undefeated. Just
so, Doug, open up your next one and RC, what's going on, man? So, are you gonna miss anything from Founders?
Actually, with Founders, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm not gonna miss any of them.
Cheers.
The beer that I liked the most from them when they had was one they stopped making, I believe, which was the Dark Penance.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good CBS and KBS. It was like a black, I believe a black IPA too, black double IPA possibly. But they, the CBS, the KBS, I've always thought they were overrated for what they were. I thought their breakfast stout did enough, and I thought they were just trying to market something different out there. It really wasn't that much of a step up to make it worth the cost of buying those beers. They sold the hype around them and people went after them.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to miss those at all. I did like Backwoods Bastard, but I've got so many other Scotch ales I can fill in that slot with. It's like when this just started happening, like when it was happening last year, when I first found out about it, a lot of people found out about it that, let's say, I don't know, we say a lot, like a lot of find out about it now, but there was something I found out about last year, like around October. I think I found out first around July or so. And it was kind of like, I already started to pull away from them. And it was kind of like, I cut them off at that point. So I wasn't drinking anything along those lines from them and had other beers already to fill the void. I started taking my money, like what I was doing, because I like Shorts out of Michigan. So I started getting like more of the Shorts beers or other Michigan beers, Old Nation or whatever it may be, rather than going to Founders. So I found other replacements to find other stuff, if not Michigan and other spots. And it's kind of like, hey, I've got like 7,500 plus breweries out here. I'm not going to miss one. I'm like Jay-Z. I got 7,500. The Founders ain't one. So I was good to go. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to easily find some beers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
And right up the street, man, right up the street is a better stout, is New Holland.
New Holland, right.
Period. Right up the street.
Yeah.
Good old Dragon's Milk. That motherfucker slays me.
Dragon's Milk is amazing. And I went to I toured Founders last year, early summer. So I was in there early summer. I got a tour from a young African-American male and a young Latina female, actually. And I had a decent time there. And then when I left, is when I found out, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's not good.
Well, I'm pretty much done there. I don't know. I wasn't, whatever. Yeah. I was more impressed with Holland's. New Holland is more of a family brewery. They're more of a brewery. Like, I don't know. I didn't go. I went to the factory and stuff. They're more of like a mom and pop brewery. They're like, they're our speed, man. And that's why I always say now it's Dragon's Milk. You don't need any of the other mess. Get Dragon's Milk. It's a year round. They crank out nice variants. We already know.
Variants are awesome too.
So, Doug,
one other thing before we go to my beer, we just had a very brief discussion before we started about if you have Founders in your fridge or your cellar. And there was a bit of a discussion about what people were going to do with it, and I personally think if you've already spent your money on it and you like it, drink it. That's my preference. What do you guys think?
RC?
Well, we were talking earlier about that. So when I first found out about it, I actually had one less. I had a KBS in the house. So I was like, what do I do with this beer? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be like those crazy people like I told the guys here and just kind of, throw it on the grill or something, pour it out or whatever, which I've seen people now pouring out CBS online, which is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, well, fuck, they got my money, so I might as well drink it. So I just drank it and I would just take a sip. Oh, you motherfuckers. Drink some more. Oh, you assholes, So I had it, so I might as well drink the beer. And then that was the end of it. So it's like, when do you find out about something beer? I mean, everybody has to draw their own conclusion at that point. What line do you want to follow? Do you want to pour it out? Do you want to do something like that? Like there's right now we got bars that are talking about dumping their Founders. Just dumping them. And that's when it's really hard, because it's like, they're making money off of it. And they're like, I'd rather dump this shit out than have people buy this shit to make money for me and my families and my employees and have them buy other stuff. Yeah.
Or even be associated with it. Like, if I walk into a bar now and you still have Founders on, I might give you a little cockeyes. So, like, there's that, too, that they have to, you know what I'm saying, mitigate there.
Yeah. It's like, I'm walking to a bar, I'm going to give them to look like Django, like...
So my answer to this one is, I don't know, man. Sometimes I get flack online. Doug's heard this. Sometimes I get flack online because when I go out tasting, I will leave half my beer there, or I'll leave half a flight there, just because I'm not trying to take all the beer in, and I'm by myself, and I need to remain sober if I'm going to hit my next 6 breweries.
Exactly.
So there are times where I just leave half a beer, and people are like, how do you waste that? And I'm like, look, this is my beer. I bought it. So I get to do it with it whatever I want to. Right. And that's where I think we're at with KBS. I just don't want people feeling like, I don't want people feeling bad if they drink the beer after they bought it. Like,
Yeah.
I just not, you know what I mean? Like, that's like, no, 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 no. So if you feel bad that you don't drink it, then pour it out. If you don't feel bad, drink it. You bought it. Like, it's
Yeah.
yours. You pay for it. You get to do what you want.
And I've had a few friends ask me that. It's like, you got it. You might as well drink it. I mean, you know now. I mean, you paid. I mean, you already gave them your money, so
Hey,
it's kind
but
of
if
like,
it's too much, pour it
yeah.
out. It's too much, pour it out. Like,
I saw a quote one time by Samuel Jackson. He said, he was getting criticized for some of the stuff he was saying against the president. He said, "So what I care? They already bought their tickets."
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
My only tip, and I'll tip it back to Doug. If it says KOZ on it, you can definitely pour that shit out.
Don't hate yourself too much to drink that shit, please. Folks.
Right. You don't have to suffer through that bullshit. Go on, Doug.
That was fun.
I love it. It's great. It couldn't happen to a better beer or brewery.
Yeah. All right. So next up, as again with my literary theme, this is a little bit more vague, but that's kind of why I liked it. It's called the Rule of Three. Rule of Three in writing is things are more interesting and move the story along if things are done in trios, whether it be characters, events, whatever. Goldilocks and the Three Bears, perfect example of that, because 3 bears, 3 meals, 3 beds, rule of 3. So, a little vague, but I like it. This is a double IPA, which is so not in my wheelhouse. And it's listed at, I believe, 8.8% ABV. It was canned on the 4th of September, so it's not super fresh. So we're going to see how this goes.
When?
The 4th of September.
Should be all right.
Maybe.
Right.
Ooh-wee. Bring on that freaking hops. Holy shit.
34.8 IBU.
It smells a lot more than that.
Citra Lupin Powder. Centennial Simcoe Lupin Powder.
Oh, you got flakes.
Citra and Simcoe are like pounding you in the nostrils when you pour it. So
flaked white wheat, yes.
You should have pretty good smoothness.
Yeah.
Although when I pour it out, it's the hops are not as aggressive on your nose. So
yeah. Dry hop 3 times though. Wow. Malty.
Yeah. Hoppy for sure, but not like as hoppy as I expected it to be. I was expected to be almost chewy. That makes sense.
Right. But 34.8 is not...
Well, keep in mind with the double IPA, they're usually more malty because of the extra malts have to be added to kick up the ABV, so it takes off the bitterness.
Yeah. This is like if you're, I think Greg, you'd really like this. This is much more up your alley. But
I don't know. The claw's a good one too.
It's not something that's like, it's not remarkable, but it's not like something I'm like struggling to get through, which is usually the case with IPAs or pale or
big ones.
This is pretty drinkable for me. So
okay.
Dew Claw is out of Baltimore, so.
But is it bad? Are you getting enough? Are you getting enough hops with that malt, or is it too malt? Or is it malt more?
No, I feel like it's fairly well balanced. It's definitely more malty than it is hoppy.
Okay. Yeah.
But for me, that's good. I'd rather that than more hops than malt. If that makes sense.
I bet you it's a bigger hop profile if you would have done it fresher, especially with the dry hop in there. But dry hopping is a lot of. Am I right, RC? Dry hopping hits a lot of that aroma.
Yeah, when you dry hop, it's for the aroma. Just like the last 10 minutes of the boil, you're adding the hops for the aroma at that point.
So what do you get from the aroma, Doug?
Like when I opened the can, it was like I didn't even have the can anywhere near my nose, and I could smell all the hops. Like
okay.
So you get like a resiny feel, dankness coming out.
Yeah, and it was like I mean, I poured the can out. It was a foot below my nose, and it was like whoosh, just straight up. Wow. That's why when that happened, I was like, "Oh man, this is gonna be a rough one for me." But
Okay, so you got some of that dry hopness, though, is what I'm.
yes,
Okay.
definitely on the nose.
Okay.
Definitely, it's a little more malty than it is hoppy, but I like that. So that would be more my preference. I'm going to drink double IPAs.
Well, damn. Nice, nice.
Nice.
So my little Duvel glass that I love.
RC.
All right. I need to use more of my glasses. I got them all there in the rack. Well, this is kind of funny because people are watching. Like, we did not do anything like to prepare for this, but the next beer that I have is actually from Ommegang. And Doug had the rule of 3, and it's like 3 of us on here. So it's the 3 philosophers.
Oh.
So this is one coming off of that there. And this one, and anybody that knows me knows my title. Like, my favorite style is Belgian ales or Belgian style ales. This is a 98% quadruple ale, 2% ale with cherries added. On the back there, they have some information. Oops, I'm on the wrong camera. On the back, they have some information. I really take the other camera out of there. I'm not going to read all of that, but it basically says, with 3 philosophers, we unite the caramel and chocolate notes of our multi-quadruple ale with a serendipitous cherry creek for complexities that invite your deeper consideration. 9.7% ABV. They give you the serving temperature on here, which is nice, 50 degrees or whatever Celsius. I don't have my readers on, so I'm kind of looking down like, what the hell? They even tell you like the right style glass, like a tulip glass, which is what I use here. And they also tell you to pour it slowly so not to disturb the yeast sediment because it is filtered in the bottle as well, has a bottle conditioning, but with enough vigor to create a nice luxurious head to release the aromas. So let's see if we can do that. A nice little smoke came right out of the, good amount of smoke coming out of the bottle.
That's one of your favorites, isn't it, Doug?
It is. And to bring that even a little bit more first full circle, Rod, is the glass I have, which is from Duvel, owns Ommegang.
Do they really? Oh, wow. Yeah. All kinds of connections here.
Yeah.
Man, we should be in the Twilight Zone. So there we go into the glass there. A nice dark brown caramel, maybe a little darker than like a, really more like a dark toffee type brown, or maybe like a dark wood type brown, cherry wood or something.
Yeah.
Good aroma. You get the nice notes of like a toffee note, caramel. I get a little bit of a licorice note in there. Nice sweetness. A little bit of a syrupy type feel. Oh, that sounds like just, it smells just like so much sweetness in the glass. It's kind of like Wilford Brimley's going to jump out. Prepare yourself. Diabetes. And this is a nice one to just sit back with and relax. Oh my goodness. The mouthfeel that you get on it is it's subtle, but it's complex. So you get a little bit of feel of the cherry that was in there, but you have a nice feel of the beer in itself, that the bubbles of the carbon, it just kind of just soothes the tongue as it goes into the mouth. It's not like overcarbonated in any way. Kind of just comes in nice and subtle, says hello, and then kind of makes itself comfortable in there. Slides down to the back of the throat really easily. You do pick up some of the booziness, but you're also getting a nice feel again of kind of that caramel, that licorice, that sweetness, kind of a sultry type feel to it. Like, this is something I would kick back and watch, like, you know, The Walking Dead or something. I'm sitting there, I want to sit for like an hour or so, half an hour, and just like enjoy the beer. Good beer that I would have with a cigar that would last a while. As I smoked a cigar, I would have to rush through this one. It leaves a feel of it that you don't, you know, some beers you have that'll be drying. It's kind of like you want to keep drinking them because this one is just kind of got the right amount of wetness to the back end that you're kind of want to just sit there and keep enjoying it. You don't want to drink it too fast. And, you know, and that's why they say like 50 degrees, let it warm up some. Flavors coming out nicely. Body wise, it's got a nice medium body. It's not overly heavy like you would think at that ABV as you're growing up. It might be a little bit heavier, but you could easily do this. It would easily sneak up on you though if you were drinking too many of these. It would definitely catch up to most people. Yeah, but I like this one. This is really nice. And I haven't had many Ommegang beers I haven't liked. They do a real good job. And they're out of Cooperstown, New York.
Yep, not far from me.
Is this your first time having it?
I got like the Game of Thrones beers and other ones from Ommegang. So, they're ones I pick up when I can. But so many different beers are out there. So, you try to spread it around and stuff like that. But I'm never disappointed by any I get from them.
Yeah. One of the things that I think really pairs well with that, food-wise, believe it, steaks are really good with that. You get a really good steak. I prefer mine medium rare, and just with that, paired with that beer is just unbelievably good.
See, I could even have this with a dessert, like a torte or something. I think it would be good. Yeah.
Good old quads, man. So you said Belgian styles. Is there a preference for? Are you more of a quad, triple, double?
I like them all, but I'm probably more of like Duvel is one of my favorite beers to have. Golden Draught 9000 is probably, it used to be the favorite I had, but I've had so many more since then. I'll drink through the Chimay and other ones as I get them. So probably more, I would say, of any of those, I would probably say more of a quad though. I like the going big with them. I like what they do. I like the way they put it. Monks know how to make good beer. So I'm not disappointed by them. Like, if you got to give up women, I guess making beer is the next best thing you can do. So, I enjoyed this different styles they have. I even enjoy some of like the lambics that they, the lower ABV type beers. They just, like, if I went to Belgium, like my wife's like, we need to travel. Like, you want to go to Belgium once? Like, if I go to Belgium, I might not come back. I'm just saying. So that might be the last place we want to go to, because I might just I'm going to stay.
Let's wait until the last vacation we have.
Right.
We'll go there.
The last vacation, right.
Yeah. But there's their awards and accolades. They won some awards from it, looks like. So
yeah.
I can see why.
Over at the Great American Beer Festival. Yep.
They normally do. They didn't this year because they did a giant remodel of their place, but they normally do a beer festival called Belgium Comes to Cooperstown.
Okay.
And prior to this year of them not doing it, I had gone every year for 7 years, except the year I went on my honeymoon with my wife. And it was just a phenomenal festival. And what you could do is you could volunteer, and you'd work like a 4-hour shift, and then the rest of the time is yours. You camp there for free. The tastings were free. Like, you just had to bring your own food and tent, and like, it was just a superb time. I hope they bring that back this coming year.
This sounds horrible. Was it good?
What?
The Mother of Dragons? I haven't had that one yet.
I did. It was,
sounds horrible.
I would say mediocre. And you know how you and I are both fond of smoked porters. The Creek added a little sweetness to it. That was a little odd.
I'm not a fan of fruit porters.
Yeah.
Not even remotely. So I think it's now a perfect time for a sponsor.
I agree.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? So Rod J Beer Ventures here. If you don't know who I am, you can check me out on the web. If you just put in Rod J Beer Ventures in Google, you'll have a ton of stuff that pops up. But if you check out the website, it is rodjbeerventures.com, which is to the blog where I put stuff there. On YouTube, it's just Rod J Beer Ventures. If you search, and you can catch all the different videos. If you're on Instagram, it's Rod J Beer Ventures. If you're on Facebook page, Rod J Beer Ventures. We also have a Facebook group called the Beer Coalition. So if you're a beer fan, we always bring new members into that, and you meet a lot of other people that are deep into beer. And if you're on Twitter, it's Rod J Beer Venture, no S, one character too many.
How long you been around?
I've been doing this since March of 2015 when I first started messing around with the blog, and then went to YouTube, and then went to Twitter and Instagram, and kind of one thing led to another, and next thing you know, you're kind of building something there and having fun with it, and go to different events. I try to get different conference type stuff when I can. Cincinnati here, where I'm at, we do the beer festival, so we do different things where I'll shoot video out there. I'll usually volunteer and do stuff. I haven't been to any of the Brew Association stuff yet, but they had me like on their press list for different things. Connect with some really great people. I was supposed to be at Fresh Fest last year, but hurt my wrist, so couldn't make it to that, but was planning to be down there for that and everything. And just I get in everything I can, possibly beer. If I'm not doing something on beer, I'm usually reading about beer. So I got like tons of books here in the beer library I go through, and you have to build that knowledge, I think, if you're going to be really a part of it. I try to bring all that to the people that follow me and watch the stuff and go from there.
You have over like 2,000 videos or something.
Video wise, I think it's about 1,500 videos on YouTube that go from beer reviews to beer festival footage to live streams. We do a beer flow show every Thursday night, 9:15 Eastern. And so we have that stuff that we do as a regular live stream. Then I have pop-up stuff where I do hangouts with some of the viewers or other people that we have stuff. Had Afro Beer Chick on there. We had a great talk on diversity when she came on. And a lot of people like that one. And try to spread the knowledge as best we can. And then on Instagram, I think I have, last I looked, it might have been around 1,600 followers. Twitter was like 2,800, and Facebook was about, I think, 400 or so on the page right now. But I do other stuff with groups and other connections, and I try to spread out like much as I can. I actually have the Rod J Beer Venture News, which is like a newspaper that I provide to people through the Paperly site. So I always try to get stuff out there, and I like to share as much people as I can. So like I try to spread the word, like for you guys, that I put out stuff on my channel so that people know about you. And Afro Beer Chick, we did stuff, and other people that we've done stuff. So the good thing despite what founders may say, the good thing that I found with beer has been the inclusivity of a lot of stuff. So it's been a lot of great connections I've made, a lot of great fun I've had, talking to a lot of people, going to a lot of events, and you try to pay that forward, right? So I'm always trying to help out everybody else as much as I can too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you next year at Fresh Fest.
Yeah.
I was last year.
I was looking forward to meeting you as well. So it's kind of like, yeah. Then when I couldn't go, then ABC was the same way. She was like, "Man, I thought you were going to be here. We were ready to get done."
Right.
And then I had been talking like with Mickey from up in Black and Blue Chicago. She was talking about ready to come down there.
Yes.
So and I was surprised. Like I didn't think anybody. You do these things. I didn't know that many people may have known about what you were doing, but it was kind of like other people that were reaching out to me that were telling me they were expecting me to be down there for stuff. So. Yeah.
That was one of my takes, man, was that like everybody was really, really supportive of everybody else's brands.
Yeah.
Like they were really like went out of their way. And it was funny, I didn't know that you weren't there until it was over. And then it was over, and I was like, wait, there were a couple of people I didn't like. After it's over, you're like, oh shit, there was a couple of people I didn't miss. So I just thought that I missed you. I didn't know that you weren't there. I just thought that we just completely missed each other. So that's good.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you ever go to these conferences and you're like, you have a list sometimes. You're like, oh, I want to meet this. Like Afro Beer Chick was on my list of people that I wanted to meet. So then I just, I rode up to her. I rode up to her and we talked. And it was great. But like, you were definitely one of the people I wanted to meet because I don't know, man. I don't know about how many more Black people on Twitter that talk about beer that are more prolific as you at this point.
Oh,
so
I appreciate that.
And I've done my research, so that's why I'm like, I at least want to talk to this guy because again, I don't want to say I want to be where you are, but I aspire to do the kind of same things you're doing, which is I'm doing them now, which is streaming and education and showing that Black people like beer.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's going out there having fun doing it. Yeah, it's funny. Like we were talking about, like, hey, you go to breweries and like sometimes you leave beer, but it's like sometimes I go to the places and I went up to who was it? It was in was it Akron or Toledo, one of the breweries up there. It's slipping my mind which one it is right now. And I was sitting there doing beer reviews on the beers there, and the beer tender was asking, she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Well, I shoot videos for YouTube like that and everything. And she says, "Oh, our master brewer's in the back room over there. Oh, you should go talk to him." I said, "Oh, I'll try to catch him later." And everything. Well, she went and talked to him already. So I was doing a beer review. He came walking by and he like looked over. Then he came back in, looked over, and he introduced himself, started talking. And I was like, telling him what I was doing. I was like, "Yeah, you want to sit down and join me or whatever?" 3.5 hours he sat down there with me on a live stream, and people were like eating it up. Like, I can't believe you had a brewer sit down for, not even just a master brewer for the brewery. He loved it and everything. Went to go pay my tab, and like, oh no, you're all taken care of. Like, wait a minute, no, I gotta pay. He's like, no, he got you all set and everything. I was like, I ate, I drank. I was like, you gotta let me pay something. They're like, no. I said, well, I wanted to give her tips. I gave her a tip and stuff like that. And it was kind of like, I didn't expect any of that stuff to happen, but I like to go out and tell stories of other people and what they're doing in the beer community. And it pays off to actually be able to go out and do that. So I have a blast. I got the funniest thing that ever happened to me. I don't know if it happened to you guys yet or anything where you get recognized. I was at a local Subway shop here where I'm at. 'Cause I live in Northern Kentucky, although I work in Cincinnati. I was ordering my sandwich, and a guy from behind was like, "Hey, what beer are you reviewing next?" I didn't have a beer shirt or anything on. I like, excuse me? He's like, you do the beer show, right? Like Rajay Beer Ventures in my own local town. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I watch your stuff all the time on YouTube. Really? You know, we started talking about it and stuff, but it was like, I've never expected to get like someone to pick me out and know me. Like, not something where you're just doing a basic thing. Maybe at a beer festival it could happen or something like that. But just to be doing an everyday thing and someone recognizes you, that was just kind of blew my mind and stuff. So, you know, I go out there, I share the story, I try to do a lot of stuff, not just on the beer, but to get into the things like the inclusivity, the things happening with founders, and different, you know, I try to get different angles on different stuff. And that's what I think people like about the channel. We have like people from all across the spectrum that come on there talking different things. And that's what I try to provide. Because I think, you know, everybody's got something they want to share. You may not agree with everybody, but you know, let them voice their thing and then go from there. So unlike Congress, we have civil debates.
I don't know what the recognized in public thing is. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is starting to happen to me here too in Madison. Yeah, hey, Daddy Porter. And I was like, oh, hi. Cool.
All right, see, I'm going to tell you, when you're with Greg, he's like a magnet. People freaking love him, and they just like walk, hey, Greg, and he's like, and he talks to everybody, and it's awesome. It's like a sight to behold. I'm really social, but like when Greg's Greg's in a room, and it's like he's the flame, and everybody else are the moths, and they just go right to it. It's really pretty cool to watch.
Yeah,
please say no, but I'm telling you that's how it works.
That's how you want to do it. That's awesome. You got to be like that. It's funny. The first time, because twice a year I volunteer for the Cincinnati Beer Fest that we do, and when I started doing it and stuff, it was funny because I would go in there and I volunteer and I, you know, work the stand, and it's like most people sit there wait for you to come over. So I'd be there and I'd be like yelling out, "Hey, we got blah blah blah," you know, my Great Lakes or whatever. Hey, come check out the Commodore Repair, you know. And I would like work people into the booth, and it got to a point like people would come ask me questions rather than the people actually working for the brewery, like on what they should try next or what they thought about this and all this kind of stuff. And actually, one of the booths we did was for Sam Adams, and the manager was there with his wife, and the wife was like, "What do you do for a living?" I was like, "Well, I usually work in sales." And she turns to her husband, "You need to hire this guy." I didn't end up going to work for him there or anything like that, but it was just funny. It's like you got to have fun. You got to be the energetic person. You got to get the things kind of rolling, and people love to have that. A lot of people want to be able to have someone they can relate to that can tell them and show them the different things and make them feel comfortable. So,
speaking of comfortable, I'm comfortable with this beer. Central Waters Peruvian Morning. It's a Brewer's Reserve. It's a bourbon barrel, basically a bourbon barrel chocolate. I guess the Peruvian Morning is the coffee.
Yeah, Peruvian coffee.
So while Rod was doing his sponsor, I was pouring. This is.
I will tell you, Peruvian coffee is some strong shit.
This is
you might be up for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw like my look, the look that when I first took it, I was like, ooh, like this is a big. I had it up there when I got it, but so first of all, I'm a coffee beer sucker. So unless it's it did take me a little while to get to these coffee stouts though, or not coffee stouts, I'm sorry, coffee blondes. It took me a while because I think I had a couple of them and they were and then I had to have a couple good ones. So I'm kind of warming into them. So that would be the only one that I'm like not like if I see coffee in it, I'm jumping. But if I see coffee in it, I'm jumping. And this is just this is just another one. Peruvian Morning Central Waters. They are the best barrel age program in Wisconsin. I don't think anybody argues with me. But there's a place called Octopi Brewing who does Untitled Art. I don't know if you've heard of them, RC.
I get Untitled Art. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I do now. Yeah.
Right. Untitled Art, they're coming for Central Waters. They ended up getting one of the brewers from Goose Island to come up and to start there and to build on their barrel age program. So they're coming for Central Waters, but Central Waters is it as far as bourbon barrels go, and this is it. Subtle bourbon. I mean, again, you know it's there, but it's not, too much. A lot of people are offended by, big old bourbon barrels. Why would I drink that? I can just have bourbon. You're right. I agree. I totally agree because again, this is a beer. I want a beer. I'm starting to really come into bourbon too, and we can probably have another show for that at another time. I'm starting to really love it, but I don't. If I want a bourbon, I'll just do a bourbon. If I want a bourbon barrel beer, I want to be able to taste the beer behind it. And this is a classic one where you can taste the beer. The bourbon is, it's more on the nose, man, than it is on the out. It's really smooth on the out, and it's actually more of a coffee taste on the out. But you also get the bourbon. And I don't know, man, bourbon and coffee, they seem to be, it seems to work. You know how some things don't work? Like some people say that tequila and stouts don't work. So, and I kind of, a tequila barrel stout, I kind of can feel that a little bit. You know what I mean? As opposed to a bourbon barrel and a stout. You know what I mean? Like this feels that they just go together. Yeah. For me, with coffee, it just feels like coffee goes together, in proportion with bourbon. So I'm a fan of this one. Doug, you might be getting one of these soon in a shipment, but I shouldn't say that, should I? That's illegal. Right?
Well, I still have a shipment. I may have some certain things I need to send you as well. So.
Well, we got to do our old. You got to give me some Mad Elf. So, Rod,
from Trogs, Mad Elf.
Yeah. So
you don't get it there. You don't get it there.
I don't get Trogs in Wisconsin. First of all, so nope. But second of all, Doug and I are having a big old coming up here. And I don't know, I want to invite you too. We're having a big old Mad Elf brouhaha. Great word for it. I found, Doug already knew, but I found out, I've never had the beer. But second of all, I found out this is one of the most polarizing beers on the East Coast. People either love it or they freaking hate it. And it's funny because my perception is all about that. So like if I talk to someone who likes Mad Elf, I'm like, damn, that shit sounds delicious. And if you talk to someone who hates Mad Elf, you're like, that sounds awful. So like, so we're all gonna get on, have Mad Elf. We're gonna have some Mad Elf haters. We're gonna have some Mad Elf lovers, and we're gonna have a big old talk about it.
Yeah, let me know. I can get Mad Elf here, so I get Trogs beer.
Have you ever had the Mad Elf? I
had it years ago. I've had it. I liked it. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we can like you. We can put you in a favorable column.
I like a lot of stuff from Trogs. Trogs does some great stuff. So.
Trogs is awesome.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, actually on my website, Trogs, I met one of their guys a while back, and they connected me as one of their brewery people. But on my website, I have a thing like it's called "Give Me 5," and it's like 5 questions I just send to a brewer and they can answer. Like Trogs is one of the people that responded with their 5 questions, so I posted it on the website.
What are you gonna say, Doug?
Well, I was trying to find it in cans. So far, I've only seen it in bottles, and I'd rather not ship. I can ship bottles. I'd rather do it in cans if I can. So that's the hold up on that.
I'm sending you a bottle shipper.
Can you buy them somewhere, like the shippers themselves?
Yeah, or you can just use the one I'm gonna send you this week.
Oh, jeez.
Greg wants to Mad Elf. Mad Elf is out now. It's already hit, so it's already hitting places. Yeah.
Also, I have beer for you, man, and it needs to go.
Well, I'm gonna be going to Fresh Fest this year, so yeah, I'll definitely.
Well, I was gonna ask you, Greg, on the bourbon, because you're talking about the bourbon. Have you ever done a shot of bourbon and then put the stout in, kind of like as a bourbon stout Boilermaker?
No, but we were taught this
It's actually
2
pretty
months
good.
ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Afro Beer Chick taught us all about
I told her about it too. Yeah. Well,
Yep,
but
right.
she
She was
has
taking
it.
us. RC, she took us to school on it though. Like
Yeah.
she literally took me and Doug to school on it because again, we were just like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, hold on, I'm gonna go do this." So she came back and she just had it, and then she was talking about all kinds of others. Like
Yeah.
I think she should just. I already told her she should write a book on like how to repurpose like bad beers.
Did she do the bourbon reader for you guys?
Well, she also did the thing where she's like, yeah, if I don't like this stout, I'll just pour it over ice cream and make it a float. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds awesome. Like, why
Yeah.
have I never thought of that?
Yeah.
Right. She had all these different things that she does with these stouts, and I don't know. It was just amazing. It was funny, but it was just like, no, I've never thought of that. She's like, look, add a little bourbon to that stupid stout, and it'll be good. And I was like, I didn't even.
Yeah, but not all of her ideas are great ideas because the water thing is going to be that's going to be a repeating problem.
Yeah.
And she called porters brown waters, and I was like, nope.
Well, actually,
Some of them are though, Doug. That's
Yeah.
the problem, actually.
Yeah.
So there's a few of them that are brown water.
Well, some porters are just too thin. I mean, but
Well, it depends on the
It is what it
style of
is.
porter because my wife and I, on our way up to the wedding last weekend, stopped at a brewery and they made what they called an American porter. And it was thinner. It was almost like it was, I think the ABV was like 4.6,
yeah,
but it was thinner and it was not smoky, which is generally what I'm looking for in a porter. I would like that sort of roasty, smoky flavor.
sure.
This was not that. It was different and
Yeah.
it was good. It was just different. But yeah, I could see, like, I know if she poured that, that would be like, why am I drinking this? This is brown water. So I think, Greg, you were on your third.
Mm-hmm.
RC, what are you on?
I'm finishing my second right now, so I'm not getting my
You're
third
finishing
here.
the quad. Do you want me to go next?
Yeah, you can go next.
Because my last
Mine,
one, my last one's a hefty one. So
yeah, my next one's a 12%er. So
yeah, mine's 11. You just drank a 10%er, dude.
yeah,
My roll. I'm the one that drinks the heavy gravity.
I'm almost done my bourbon barrel here, son.
That is good.
This is
So
deep.
the last one for my literary series, children's book name, Goodnight Moon,
Good night, moon.
Imperial Milk Porter. How about that? At 11%.
Okay.
you say your theme was literary?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got my next play of my beer will be off of your literary thing, then.
What's the brewery is Greater Good?
Yep.
Okay. I think I found it.
So it's got the look of a porter.
Good night, moon.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Let's see.
Not a lot on the nose. The nose is kind of bland.
Let's see.
Like I was expecting something at least like roastiness or something, but yeah.
A London Porter with lactose.
Ooh, sweet,
Okay.
Like
creamy.
lactose is like
Well, that'd be a creamy feel.
And you got coffee.
okay, that I didn't know was in it. The coffee is there on the tail end. The lactose it's sweet on the front. It's really sweet, like almost cloyingly so. So, and that's I think they just have so much lactose in it that it's like really, really sweet. And then at the end, you get the coffee and the chocolate kind of notes. So
Coffee malt. So Patagonia chocolate and coffee malt.
it's just weird because it's like so sweet and it has the coffee and all that, but there's like almost no aromatics to it at all.
House yeast. 11% for London Porter is high. Cocoa nibs and milk sugar. Okay. So creamier mouthfeel?
Yeah, definitely. It just what struck me was just how sweet it is on the front. I was not ready for that. That was like, I figured it would be creamy because of the lactose. I didn't think
Right.
it like all
It
that.
will carry through. So then the sweetness overpowered the roast.
At first. So you get all that sweetness all up front. And if you can get past that, the flavors after that are great.
Hmm.
You get the roastiness, and then you get all the like you get the roastiness, the coffee notes, a little bit of chocolate. Yeah. This is out of Williamsburg, Massachusetts. I'd never heard of them before.
Oh yeah.
I haven't heard of them either.
London style porter with lactose, creamier feel. So they're trying to make it like a milk stout. Yeah, this one's kind of all over the place, but they're trying to make it like an imperial stout at 11%.
That's the thing. 11%. Like, that's a freaking imperial stout. Or that's not a porter.
Yeah, I guess imperial porter is not a style, but I guess that's where we're at here. If you're gonna, because what is the biggest porter style here? As I look up at my thing is what is that, Baltic porter? Those can go pretty high. But
Yeah.
Baltic porters are like licorice, and there's none of that going on in there.
No. Funny thing about a Baltic porter is actually a lager, not an ale. I didn't realize that until a while back.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's one of those weird ones. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
It's like you take the test for like the sister, like, are y'all fucking with me right now? Is this real?
No, right.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a lager.
Nope.
They talk about at the top, it says America's first all imperial brewing company.
So they're like my friends here, Giant Jones, because they all got big beers. Look at that, 9%, 10%,
That one,
11, 12, 10, 8.4, 8.2. Wow, 8. 8. Wow. Okay. Oh, they got some. Okay, so they have some ones here.
Well, that's their sole purpose. That's a different line they're doing. So, okay.
Right, and they're doing low here, 4.3, 4.5. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that. If you go up again to that, look at that color.
It's beautiful.
That looks awesome.
Deeper shade of soul. Well, this place looks interesting.
Yeah. So for up in Massachusetts, I'd love to be able to hear from anybody who's been to that place, because.
Looks pretty good. RC, you got a last one there?
Yeah, I do. I just got verification going back to the founders that the letter was verified, by the way.
Oh.
So I just posted it. I had to post it on my website, on the Facebook page real quick.
That's a complete mic drop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. She tore them up.
Yeah.
They deserved it though. Like, they hired her on bullshit reasons. Like, in my opinion, they knew they weren't going to do anything, and they were just making her a quote, and it's a fact at this point. Token hire.
Yeah. Last week we will figure. Yeah.
She's pissed now because she found out that she was a token hire, and she should be pissed that she found out that she was a token hire, because that's bullshit.
But the thing is,
I don't know her name. Go.
The thing is, coming in, and I know she was coming in to try to change anything, but if you got hired into that role, wouldn't you kind of feel like they were possibly bringing you in as a token? Like, if I was brought into that role, I'd be kind of like, figured that might be part of it. So, I mean, but, you try to do what you can to knock that down. That, hey, you got the talent to do the job, but they're not taking any of our recommendations. So, I mean.
Then it was.
Yeah.
Then it is.
Yeah.
Like, go in thinking, oh, well, you hired me to do this. Maybe they're trying to actually do what they're saying. So,
yeah.
Right.
And you're not like sending her any. I mean, I know someone that responded, they saw her like on a panel at one of the brewer type things, but like, not everybody's going to those things, but you would think she would be out in front, like maybe more stuff on Twitter, more stuff on the founders page, more stuff on Facebook page, whatever. You didn't see anything really of her. It's kind of like she was in the back room, just kind of like taking a check like Clarence
Ow.
Beeks on Trading Places.
Right.
Why is he on the payroll? We don't know why he's on the payroll. You know what I mean? So I got all kind of. Doug's laughing. I got all kinds of movie references, my friend.
I know exactly what you were talking about.
I grew up an only child. I watched a lot of movies back in the day. So.
No, but like, you know what I mean? At this point, I guess it was hard for her to see that going in. But at this point, looking at the rearview mirror, it's easy to say like she was clearly a token hire because they didn't do anything with her. Like, you almost have to take that leap of faith as a Black person going into this corporation that they're going to do what they say. Because I'm sure they're in the interview, they were like, "Yeah, we want you and we want to do this and we're all that." And we just want to get, and it was just a PR. It was a PR move, but it was a bad one because they didn't do anything.
Right, and for her, it was an opportunity to be the one to turn it around. So who wouldn't want that opportunity? To maybe turn around a company like that. So I can't blame her for that in any way. But
Nope.
I applaud her for what she did there, trying to, dropping that bomb like she did. But
we all got to pay the bills too.
We got to pay the bills, and again, we did not pre-orchestrate this. Whoops! But playing off of
we didn't pre-orchestrate.
Playing off of Doug's theme, I'm going to have a Boulevard limited release rye on rye, 12%. So we'll say it's a catcher in the rye relevance to that one. So, and they do have a date on this one. Good out to December of 2019. 12% ABV, 33 IBU. I'm not sure what month they bring it out, but it is a limited release. So they don't bring it out for the whole year. And
love that brewery.
Open. Boulevard's out of Missouri. They do some pretty good stuff.
Love that brewery.
Yeah.
The Kansas City brewery.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
I'm going to pour it real quick down here.
I'm a fan.
That drop almost spilled it. So
let's see.
I was expecting it to go kawoosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to hold it down as much as I could, All right, so there we go into the glass.
Yeah, Boulevard. That's what I want to get to.
And obviously, if it's over 8%, you're supposed to use a snifter. So we got a snifter glass for it, right? So, which is supposed to help the aroma. So, and it came out. It's down to a finger, but it was about a 1.5 finger, maybe 2 finger when it first started. It's got a nice caramel type color to it. Not picking up too much of the bubble action. It looks like it does have a little bit of the bottle condition in there as well. Get a nice feel of the rye. You definitely get some booziness. Yeah, you can tell this one's going to hit you a little bit. It's almost like smelling it. There's going to be a warmth with the beer. But you do have to take a pretty good sniff to try to get out of the glass. It doesn't come out as aromatic.
Rye on rye. That's what it's called?
Yeah, rye on rye. Oh, that baby is smooth as I don't know what. Oh, man.
Oh, that's rye.
You drink a beer, you're like, let me get another sip just to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Rye.
Well, that
rye was created using the
I don't think that's the same one.
No, it's just rye on rye, whiskey barrel aged.
Yeah, but look at this. It's first aged.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they're saying rye on rye was created. Well,
1 year.
Yeah.
On whiskey barrels. And then second age on rye barrels. And then third aging. 3 agings.
Well, this one only is rye on rye. So this might be the double one.
Oh.
So this was actually from the cellar. And it is a 2018 release. So I don't know if you have it broken out. There you go.
There you go.
But you talk about a beer that just kind of lays in the mouth, kind of sits on the couch, puts his foot up on the coffee table, and just takes over. That's kind of what this beer does. It's kind of like, honey, I'm home.
I ain't going anywhere.
Yeah,
I love the way you describe beers, man.
I should do more of that in my review. I get too technical in my review, so maybe I should do more like that and everything. But
no,
I mean, it just like it takes over, and it's just like it owns the place. I mean, it's so smooth. I mean, it's walks in and controls everything from get-go. You have a little bit of that booziness in there, but I thought from the aroma it might be a little bit more. You would feel the heat. You're not feeling the heat. You got a nice
12%.
feel,
Wow.
kind of almost like a caramel toffee note in the flavor. Real smoothness on the back as it goes down. You know the booziness is there, but in the taste, you're not really picking up that booziness. And it's just like, come walk with me with this, that's the feel of the beer. It's like, let's take a walk. Let's go and just chill, Grab a cigar with this one as well. Put your feet up. Another one, you could have pop some cheese and enjoy this one here. This is another one I would just sit back and chill, throw in a Walking Dead or Watchmen or whatever it may be nowadays. And just, I'd be like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
So Rod, it sounds like you like to pair beers with TV shows.
I do sometimes. Like, you know what? It's like if you get a beer and you're watching a show, like if you have a lot of beers around, like you don't know what beer you may want to try, or whatever. So you don't want to just worry about the decision making. So when you want to sit down for a good show, you don't want to miss anything. So it's kind of like, what beer can I sit down with that'll sustain me during the show? This is kind of one of those beers. Like if I'm on The Walking Dead, I'm putting the recliner back on the couch with my feet up, and I'm chill. I'm good for an hour. I'll just chill, relax, be good to go. Like if I get something else, I might like, this ain't what I really wanted. I gotta go find something else what I want to drink. You're down there trying to decide on stuff. You don't have to do that with this beer. You just enjoy it. You just sit back and enjoy it. So, you get one of these and you get something else that you might drink early before you get into this one. So that by the time you get in this one, you're good to go for the night. Smooth sailing, baby. Yeah,
sounds good. Is that a 12 ounce or where we got?
This is the 12-ounce bottle from Boulevards. Again, they're out of Missouri.
How much did you pay for that bad boy?
This one didn't have the price on it, but I believe this one was only probably like $3 something, maybe cheaper than some of the other ones I've had. That was like not as good as that. Yeah.
Well, that's a bargain for a whiskey barrel. Nice ride.
That may have been a little bit more on that one. I can't remember. So it all averages out. I get some that are good deals and some that aren't, and it's like I just think the average.
Right. I think it'll help out in the end. So.
Yeah. I'll have to look next time you would think that a beer like that you probably think should be
$6 or something.
$6 or $7 or like that, but I know it wasn't that amount for that beer. I just know it wasn't. Like if I were to go out and get like a Prairie or something like that, I'll be paying a lot more for those. But this one would have been no more than $4 something probably where I got it at. So
well, cheers. I don't know. I'm finishing my Peruvian morning here.
Cheers.
I finished all my other beers here. They were tasty. I'm gonna so what we do right at the end of the shows, we go back through and tell everybody what we liked, and we kind of rank them if we want to. So I'm gonna rank mine real quick here. So my favorite ones, my favorite one was actually let's start with this Bourbon Barrel, wonderful coffee stout from Central Waters. Central Waters, shout out. Best barrel age program in Wisconsin still. You guys know the Octopi's coming for you though. So I know you're ready. It's all good. Competition brings out the best, in my opinion, in most situations, if it's equal competition, of course. So I'm looking forward to that. So Central Waters Peruvian Morning. After that was this Weiner Beer Company. Very nice. Meowa. Meow. Oh, look at all the cats on it. I didn't even see meow. Belgian style wheat ale, very refreshing, nice, nice, delicate, not assertive Belgian character. Some people are put off by Belgian characters. Not my friends in my company now, but some people are. Right? Not now. I'm in good company with the Belgian beer guys at this point. And then my third one was, you guys are Belgian boys for sure. I have to say, out of us three, you guys probably like them more than me. But I've grown to like them. In my opinion, or for me, they were an acquired taste. But some people have Belgians the first time and they're like, "This is my shit." Like that yeast just goes with them. I had to learn that yeast. And then the third was Central Waters. Hope is Brewing. Kettle sour. Nice little what I call a baby sour. Not assertive, not aggressive. More Doug speed. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna send Doug one of these. I want to hear what he has to say. I think Doug would be underwhelmed with it, actually. Even Doug's you're a lower quote. You know, we talked about this earlier in the show. You're a lower sour guy, but I think you would be underwhelmed with it. I could be wrong. So those are my three. Doug.
All right, so I'm gonna go in order of how I like them.
Okay.
I want to say none of them were bad. That's not the case here. The rule of three was a double IPA, which was good for what it was. Again, I'm not generally a fan of that style, so that was a rough hill for them to climb for me. It was good. I think, Greg, this would be something you'd really like. But hops up front, smoothed out more, much more, not much more, but more malty on the palate than hops. The second one was Goodnight Moon. It was just really sweet on the front, and all the other notes of coffee and all that stuff came out after, which I really liked. If this is just slightly less sweet, this would be superb. It was just the front was so sweet, it like took me back. Like I was not ready for that. It was like, all right, it's an imperial milk porter. Well, I don't think I've ever had a milk porter before, so I was like a little curious. And then, like I said, I wasn't expecting that boom of sweetness right in the front. Not saying it's bad. It's good. I wasn't expecting that kind of front-loaded sweetness. And the "Oh Captain, My Captain" was the winner for me. That was just a
I need to look that one up, or I probably missed that one. Shit, I want that one.
Yeah, well, you should be able to get it.
It's one from Bell's, yeah.
The Black India Style Pale Lager.
They only brewed it in September, though. That's why I'm worried.
Yeah, so you should really try to find that like really soon.
Now, right?
So,
honey, I'm going out. I'm going out.
It's a jungle, man. Look, it's a jungle. That's why I did the jungle. It's a jungle this week with founders. No, Doug, that one I'm gonna go look for. The next time I'm at the supermarket, I'm looking for that.
That was really, really good, and I may actually see if I can find more of those. That's how good that was.
I'm a sucker for a hoppy lager. I really, really am.
Like the hops are they're smooth. They're not. It's like a black lager, a hoppy black lager, like you said. That's something I really like. How about you, RC? What do you got?
Well, let's see. So I had the three tonight. It's kind of tough on the first two because both of them I gave 4.25 to on Untappd. But they had the one from Mispillion River, the War Badger, with the great little logo there. Yes. Solid. I mean, one of the better non-overpowering sours you can have. I mean, like I said, it drank like you were drinking a Hawaiian Punch or Tahitian Treat. It was kind of for people that struggle with sours, this is actually really well how they put this together. It can really be a nice crossover into that style to kind of build your way up. One thing I didn't note before, it does say a sports Berliner because they do put the electrolytes in there, I guess. So they kind of put a different label on it. But definitely one worth checking out. And it was between that and the Ommegang Three Philosophers, which was solid. I mean, if you know Ommegang, you know it's solid. But you had the quadruple ale, you had it mixed with the cherries, you had a great feel of it, and it was just smooth. It was like, Big Daddy Kane, smooth operator. So
Sade.
Sade, but Big Daddy Kane had a song too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Big Daddy Kane had the one too, I believe. Yeah, back in the day. And then, but the big winner was like the Boulevard Rye on Rye. Yeah, it's the other camera again throwing me off. Boulevard Rye on Rye. I mean, this was like totally surprised me how good this actually was. I like some of the bigger beers. Whiskey barrel aged. The whiskey wasn't overpowering. The balance was right there with the whiskey to the beer itself.
RC, are you a rye person? RC, are you a rye person?
I like some of the rye beers, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do enjoy the taste of the rye, but this was just from the time you take that first taste of it, it just like sits right in, easily finds itself. If you like barrel aged beers, again, this is a 12% ABV. This baby is just as smooth as it gets. So So maybe this is just Chardonnay, and then this will be the Big Daddy Kane. So.
There you
But just so solid beers. I mean,
Well, RC, it was excellent having you on. We're going to wrap it up here.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
tell everybody real quick where we can find you?
yeah. So you can find me on various sites out there. If you Google Rajay Beer Ventures, that's the easiest way. You'll see all the sites pop up. But if you go to rajaybeerventures.com, that's where I have the blog, and it does have a link there with some of the other social media sites. As far as the videos, YouTube, Rajay Beer Ventures. If you're on Instagram, it's Rajay Beer Ventures. I do different photos and different things of the different beers there. Twitter, Rajay Beer Venture, no S along those lines, and the Facebook page, Rajay Beer Ventures as well. So all of those are out there doing different things. And again, if you're on Facebook, come join us in the Beer Coalition. I know, Greg, you remember. I don't know if we have Doug in here. We have Doug in the Beer Coalition?
I am sadly
Am
not.
I in?
We need to get Doug in. I thought you joined, Greg. Didn't you join?
I don't know. I think you invited me to something. I'm pretty sure I joined, but I don't remember that.
I think you did join. If not,
Okay,
I'll
cool.
double check. Yeah. So, and that's where a lot of you got people that are not just beer reviewers. You got people that are in the industry working in beer, and you got beer fans, and they share all kinds of stuff. And it's a great community from all different walks of life that we talk about different stuff on beer and share stuff. And we're international. We got people in Canada. We got people over in the Netherlands, people in the UK. So you'll find out about beers all around the world in that group.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, RC, I'd love to have you on. Not during a week that's all kinds of crazy nonsense going on. We should have you on. I did get a tentative yes, you'll come on for the Mad Elf thing.
Oh, I'll definitely do the Mad Elf. Let me know. I'm down.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I guess I'm
Solid.
down.
In.
Mhm.
And so I want to, we'll have you back for
And
that.
I'd love to have you guys come on my channel at some point too, so we get you some more exposure.
When we're invited, invite us.
Yeah, we'll definitely do something. You know,
Okay.
I don't know what your guys' schedule's like, but we'll get something set up along those lines.
We'll talk, man, for sure. And
Yeah.
I just want to thank you, and we'll see you. We hope to bring you back early next year. And again, not during a week that someone's going crazy. And Doug, I'll give you the last word, brother.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Brothers and Booze. It has been an awesome time with URC. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you all later.
See you next week.
Cheers,
Cheers.
everybody.